Hello, everybody. I hope everybody's doing good. Let's see. Yep. Focus the camera. Great. So last time we did, let me go over the drawings. We did two of them so we could get on with this one. But today we're going to do perspective two. Um, I'm going to keep it simple. It's going to look complicated, but it's going to be simple, but look complicated. So that's good. Um, and I actually should have started with this drawing before last one. Again, I don't expect neither I request for you to have a ruler. We're going to do it by hand. Let's see how it goes. But we'll have to draw straight lines, okay? The next drawing that has to deal with perspective, I'll make sure um, that everybody does have a ruler, okay? Um, so first we did a house. I have it right here. Um, there's a video for this, and it's a straightforward house. There's no perspective if you think about it. Um, line perspective is you're just looking at the house from the front. Maybe there's a little perspective on the stairs here that lead to the door, but um, you can see how these lines kind of move inwards toward the door. But overall, this wasn't meant to be perspective, but it's a house. It's a house, okay? Then we went into this one, and today's drawing will be kind of related to this in bigger scale for a city where you could obviously see definitely perspective. This house is in the field, but it's on perspective because let me review this for you quickly. There is a horizon here line. You see this line, this dark line the mountains are on top of? That's the horizon. So what this marks is the edge of the earth. Even though there's mountains up here, um, right? There's a line we're referring to. And if you think about it, the house we're looking at it from the corner, but every side turns and kind of goes towards these points. This one to the left, this one's to the right. So this is a 2-point perspective. One side is going this way, one side is going the other way. Everything is the windows. Look, the windows, the top of the windows and the bottom of the windows. The door top, you see how it's going towards the um, the vanishing point. And we learned those vocabulary words. Okay, there's a video for this. I don't want to go too much on this, but this is a 2-point perspective. We have two vanishing points, line perspective because we're using lines, and we need the horizon to do this. And ideally a ruler, when you draw. But let's see this next one. So this next one is going to be interesting. It's going to be a city, so we're going to see the street, but it's going to be 1-point perspective. Okay, so this is why I say that I should have started with this drawing that we're going to do today before this one that I have in front of me right now, because it's 1 point. This is two. One, two. The one we're going to do now is a 1-point perspective. So this is two. So this could have gone after, but it's okay if you did this. And I saw some of your drawings, and you guys did a great job. Okay. So as we do the city, maybe you feel like, I don't know, okay, like a big city, metropolitan, New York City, some downtown Boston, or any other city where you are at, Los Angeles, wherever you are. But here will be Boston, and decorate it as, I don't know, the holidays or something. Make it um, specific to the times right now. We're watching this video through in the holidays. So okay, so the first thing is the horizon, right? I hope you thought of that too. We're going to think of the horizon because the horizon is going to be our guide to put our point, and then send our lines towards that point. Okay. Get your pencil, more than one pencil, hopefully with good erasers, and a pencil sharpener. The paper, obviously, you're gonna draw on. And I have an extra eraser here. And if you ever see your eraser getting dirty, you could just erase that off. You know, keep your eraser clean. Okay. Great. So my paper, I'm putting it in a horizontal way, right? This is horizontal or landscape, and I'm going to think of half of it from side to dividing the paper in top and bottom. Dividing the paper from top to bottom. I'm going to think of dividing the paper visually first in half, okay? So maybe it's about here. I taught you a trick, right? Do not fold the entire paper, just the edge. Putting these two corners together and pinching the middle. Just pinch it. You see how it got pinched right here? And there's like a little fold. I don't know if you can see where my hand, there's a little fold right there. So I'm going to do that to the other side. And that tells me that it's half. But I am not folding the entire paper. Just pinching. Because we're not using a ruler. So now I need to create a line from this point to this point. I'm going to make it darker. And I'm going to actually, you know what? I'm going to actually bring it down a little. And I'll explain you why. So if this is half, I'm going to bring it 1 inch lower, kind of about here. So I'm not marking half, I'm marking 1 inch. One inch half. It's not entirely straight, but it's close. We're using our hands. You know why I make you do this? By looking at the paper and drawing your straight line. Because please, keep drawing, keep doing it, and you're going to get better at it. You're going to get to a point where we need to use our eye to create shapes, straight lines. We will not always have a ruler, and yeah, no. So just it's part of the skills that we develop. Okay, so this is our horizon. Okay, where we're going to have a point to let me go back a little on and I'll explain you something. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Let me keep this line here. Okay. Keep this line here. And let's have a line. Sorry, I shouldn't have erased this. Let's do. So 2 lines. I went ahead of myself. This is the horizon, the middle. We're going to keep the horizon in the middle. And our point, I'm going to put my pencil right and right. You see, this is about half of the paper, right? So I'll give you a few seconds to do 2 lines. One in the middle. This one I'm pointing to is dividing the paper right in the middle. And then I did another line, kind of about 1 inch under the horizon line. And the horizon is the middle. Okay, I put the pencil right in the middle because I want my point in the horizon to be on my left. It could be to my right, but I don't want it right in the center. And this is because it will be too symmetrical. It will be not, for me, it will not be interesting, okay, to have the point right in the middle. Um, so this is a 1 point perspective. So why don't make it interesting and put the point to one side? In this case, I'm going to put it to the left, kind of about here. Everybody sees it? There's a point right here. Okay. So we have a line down here. We have the horizon. And now in this drawing, it's very interesting because in this drawing, you will see how we're going to not eliminate the horizon, but we're going to cover it. So I told you this before. You're in a room, more likely right now, as you draw or look at this video. If you look up in front of you, there's going to be probably things, chairs, a wall, but there is horizon beyond all the things that are in front of you. The horizon will be covered by the walls, the buildings, right? Same thing in the city. So this is the city we're going to do. And um, the horizon line is there, it's just covered. So what I mean to say is that in this drawing, as we keep building it, we're going to cover this line, okay? You'll see what I mean. So I will leave the dot always here very dark to remind you that this is the vanishing point. But just be aware that you don't always have to see the horizon, okay? Um, the the areas where we can clearly see the horizon is if we go to the beach, right, and look at the ocean. There's going to be a horizon. Or if we climb a mountain very high, very, very, very high, and we look straight up in front of us, more likely beyond everything, you're going to see a horizon, which the horizon literally means just the edge of the earth, right? Where the earth meets the sky. Okay, perfect. So now we have our vanishing point. We know where horizon is. What this line is, you'll see. I did it ahead of myself. It's kind of like a plane. This is a plane where that we need for the street. Okay, we need this for the street. But let's start with our first lines to 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 highlight this for you. The first couple of lines are going to define the road on the street. Okay, so I want you to do a line. You see the corner over here? I'm pointing, my pencil is pointing to a corner, right? Right, this corner of the paper, not the corner. Look where my pencil is going to go. A little bit above the corner. So if this is the corner, I'm going to go maybe about here. And I'm going to draw a line from here to the dot, to the vanishing point, okay? Obviously, you want to keep it as straight as you can. We don't have a ruler. But look at that. We have a straight line going from here to the vanishing point. Yeah. Awesome. It's gonna get very well, it's not gonna get, it is very kind of like, you know, didactical, academic when I'm talking to you. But once you get the basic ground of why these lines, then the drawing will develop and you see that it's really not that much what I'm trying what I'm telling you to please follow through in regards to the lines. Okay, the next line to mask the rope is to go from the vanishing point to kind of about here. See where my pencil is pointing? Now it's not the side, it's the bottom, but not the middle. Kind of like about halfway to it, half. If I split the paper in half, left and right, right? Half of the right. So like about here. So ta-da, ta-da. Kind of like about here. This is half. Half of this will be about here. So from this point, once you mark the point, bring a line, straight line from this point to the vanishing point. Okay. All right. We have two lines. So this is our road. Can you see it? Can you already picture it? This is the road heading towards the horizon. Now follow me here. I'm going to do another line from the vanishing point to about very close here. Okay, so you see how this one is here? Let's do a second one like about here. Same thing here. This one here, one right here under it. So if you do a line from this point to this point, they're not going to go parallel. So parallel lines are lines that are one next to each other and the distance never change. So these two lines, you see that go like this, are parallel. There's no reason, don't worry about, they don't, they're parallel because the distance here as it continues is the same. Well, these are not parallels once I do this line here to the point, because by converging to the point, we know they're getting closer as they come to the point. So you see? Did you see this? How it starts separated here, but then as it comes closer to the line, they get closer. The lines come together. Same thing on this one. Look at this point. I draw it closer, closer, closer. I know. Okay. That's the sidewalk edge, right? That lifts from the road. So this is the road. I could darken it if you guys want. I don't want to darken it right now because my hand will be on top of it as I draw, and it will dirty the whole drawing if I shade it right now. So that's why I'm keeping it clear. But this space is the road. And I'm actually gonna, you see how close these lines are? I'm gonna bring one point up here, maybe about here. You see this distance now from here to here, and make another line going towards the vanishing point. Okay. Same thing on the other side. From maybe about here, it's gonna be thicker, maybe about here. You see the big distance? I didn't bring it to the corner, but I bring it to about here. Because what I'm thinking is of the sidewalk. This is where you walk on. This is the edge of the sidewalk. You see how it's lifted? And then this is the road. This is the road. And then this is the other edge of the sidewalk. And now we are in the sidewalk. And it needs to be wide, kind of about here. Now from this point, I'm going to bring a straight line to the vanishing point. The key is to know where that angle is. You see this angle? It's very important to keep that same angle pronounced. Okay. So now, perfect. I hope there's 3 lines on each side. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But the distance is key. Okay. You see how from this one to this one, there's a little space. I should say it's actually kind of like almost the same space at this point, but here becomes wider because we can see more on the right side. Anyway, okay, so this is the road. There's going to be buildings, so let's do buildings. Okay, so to do buildings, remember how I said this is the base? This line was the base. So our building, our first building, is going to come up straight up. Not right here in the corner. It's got to be from this line. It's going to come from this line that is the base. But I don't want to put it right here in the corner because remember how this is a sidewalk? It will block the sidewalk if I do it here. I'm going to do it here, but I'm going to bring it back a little more. So maybe about, you see this corner here? This is where a building is going to start coming up if this is a sidewalk. So, but I'm going to bring it a little more in, and I'll tell you why, because if I were to put it here, right, the sidewalk ends with the building. I want to bring it like down here, look, a little more. And now you can see a little bit of the sidewalk that goes on the other side. Okay, now I go from this point, and I'm going to go straight up. Try to keep it a straight line as you go up. And that is a building that just goes up. There's no point perspective or anything in this one. I mean, it will be to the side, but not going up. Going up, it just goes up like a building. Okay. But look what I meant to say. I'm going to erase a little bit of the line that was there so you can see what I meant about the sidewalk going in. And I'm going to erase a little bit of this line that is the base, because now the building is in front of it. You see this? What I meant? That you can see actually how the sidewalk kind of turns. If I were to do the building coming up from this point, then I cut off the sidewalk. Now you can actually, if you were walking, you could actually turn and walk in there. All right, so I'm going to erase. Let's start erasing so we can actually see this clearly. The sidewalk. Sorry, the sidewalk also gets lifted, so that we're gonna need a little straight line right here. We need a little straight line right here. See that? I'm not going to erase The entire lines yet. I'm just gonna erase a little bit up here so we can see the sidewalk better. Just a little bit. Okay? Not the entire lines going to the horizon. Just a little bit here. Here I also have to do what I did on the other side. You see how? Let me show you closer. You see how it turns? I have to do this on the other side too. So I didn't erase the entire lines. I just erase a little. So when we do our road that come across the intersection, you can actually see it. And on this side too. But now um, I'm going to clean this a little with the lines. I hope I'm going to give you a few seconds to kind of catch up here. And I'm going to erase this horizon line that's on top of the building here, because the building now is on top of the horizon. Okay, so look, I erased this so we could see better. You see how now the building looks in front of the horizon? Is it making sense? I hope. All right, let's do the other side. The other side is going to be more interesting. Here, this building just go up, and what's going to be in perspective is his windows. You'll see in a moment. Okay. But this side, again, it's going to have a building going up. But I want to show you something. We're going to go the same thing here. Going up, not right where these lines meet, a little behind so the sidewalk can turn. So you see how this line meets this one? Not at this point, a little behind, a little more towards this side, like about here. And bring it down to this point. So then this edge, when I erase it, looks like the sidewalk is turning here too. So I'm going to go up, 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 up straight. This line doesn't need to be in perspective. This is just a building going up, just like on the other side. But I'm not going to go all the way up, okay? I'm going to go maybe about here. Maybe about here. I'll stop. Okay, I'll explain you why. So let me raise this so the sidewalk looks turning. I bring it close so you can see it. You see how the sidewalk looks is turning? And this line should not be here, this line, because the building now is in front of it, right? Okay. So hopefully you're here at this point. I don't want to bring the camera too close to the paper because I want you to see all the size of the paper, the entirety of the paper. So I don't want to focus it on what's inside the paper. I need you to see the ends of the paper. Okay. Change pencils or sharpen your pencil. Okay. Maybe you could redraw this drawing again, and then do the things you want, the type of buildings you want, the road you want. Okay. But this is just a lesson to understand what's needed to do 1 point perspective. And I'll write it up here. 1 point perspective. I'll have to erase the horizon. So are we ready to erase our horizon and the other side of the sidewalk we don't see? Because we're not supposed to see this, neither the horizon. Why? Because look at my hand right now. All of this is building. Remember, this is a sidewalk. All of this is building. That's carved. That's should not let us see this. So just like on this side, you see how this is erased now. So I'm ready to erase, especially the horizon. What we need from the horizon is this point to refer to it. I will not erase the point, okay? So you can see it, but in another drawing, well, in an ideal drawing, you don't need to keep that point there, okay? You will have to erase it too. But I'm gonna keep it so you can refer to it as the point where everything, look, is vanishing towards. It's called vanishing point because lines converge towards it and they vanish. They, they disappear. So I erase that. Now I'm going to erase the line here that was marking the sidewalk. Okay, so this is the fun part now. We are going to create a few buildings here, especially here to the right. The reason why we're going to do a few buildings here, we could probably get away just leaving this building alone as if it's one. Like there's no other stores. Imagine this is a line of in the block of the street. So you don't just see one store. Well, a store could take the whole block, but you usually see a bunch of different stores or buildings, right? So we're gonna leave this one alone. In this side, we're gonna do a few. Okay, so let's mark them. Maybe this line doesn't have to go that high. Maybe it stops right here. Yeah. So one could be here. Let's see how many we can do. At least three. At least three. Okay. So it will make sense. So one here and one here. So what I mark is like if I was walking in the sidewalk and I look to my right, to where the stores are. This will what marks one store, two stores, three stores. And the block could keep going behind me, right? And actually, let's bring this line up higher, and I'll explain you why just a little more. But let's bring these lines also up, okay? So this goes up. Keep it straight. Okay? And keep this one also straight up. If we had a ruler, right, we want to make sure that it's perfect, but with our hands, we can do it. I trust you can do this. Okay. If you don't see it's entirely straight, you can fix it. Okay. All right. So this is what I want to do. Very interesting. So the roof of our buildings. This one, I'm debating if I should show the roof of the one far to my right. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Should I show the roof of all of them? No, it's okay. So this one, we cannot see the roof, or maybe almost. We almost see it. I'll decide in a moment. But this one, we don't see the one far in the right. And then we're going to see the roof of these two. Now, I could make this one higher than this one. You see how it goes from higher, almost higher. But I want to make it interesting, and I want to make the building here, whatever that is, let's say it's a coffee shop, or the roof um, shorter than this one, because that's also what happens in cities too. Okay, so what happens in cities is that sometimes not all the structures or buildings, right, have the same height of the roof, because there's different units, right? People buy them or rent them independently. They're different owners. Okay, so um, let's do this one first, the one far into going towards it. Okay, the thing is, just like the bottom, you see how the bottom line is going towards the horizon line? The same thing will go and happen with the roof. That's basically it. Okay, so that's what makes it 1 point perspective. So from this vanishing point here, we're going to draw a line that goes and defines the roof of this building here. You following me? Watch. You guys ready? This is what I want. This is why I need you to have the entire paper on the video. Okay. From the point, a straight line goes tuk 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 tuk. That's it. You see the straight line? I'm going to erase my straight line here. I'm going to erase the leftover here, and that marks the roof of my building here. What I meant on having the second building here in the middle shorter is that it won't be up here. It will be down here. Ready? Actually, before I do that one, I want to give you a few seconds so you take this in and you catch up if you're still doing it. But you see how we feel enclosed? Like if we're in the road and we're enclosed in the city. All right. So now from the horizon, from the vanishing point that it is in the horizon, okay, I'm gonna go and draw a line, not here, obviously that one is already there, or above it, because that will make a same building next to it. You could do lines anywhere you want. This could be, but I want this building that's between these two to be the roof lower than this one. So maybe lower about here, maybe about here. So from this point to this point, I'm gonna draw my line. Ready? Look. That's my building. If I were to continue this line, look. You see how it goes from the point up to here? But I don't need to have this part of the line. Okay, so very important now. We see the side of the building, one of the sides, but there's another side. Okay, there's another side of this building, especially that shows. This one doesn't show it because it's right next to this one. But you see how this one, this building here, the one at the extreme corner to the left here of the block, has this edge here. We need to draw a straight line going from this point to here. There you go. We need this line. I'll explain you why, because let me finish it. Because what this line represents is the other side of this building. This is like a block. One side, two sides, this side of this one. We only see this side because the other side is right next to this building. We don't see it. We don't see this, right? We don't see this here, but we see it up here. The reason why we see this up here is because the building next to it is shorter. So it's allowing us to see this side. Can you picture that? I feel like making this building's not too tall, that you can still see a little bit of the roof, okay? But in a metropolitan downtown, huge city, we're gonna have skyscrapers that are gonna go higher, but not here. All right, let's do this. Let's put an end to this one here so it has a roof. So maybe about here, I'm gonna draw a line from the horizon, sorry, from the vanishing point. Look, tuk, 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 tuk. Oop, it's gotta go lower. Tuk, 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 tuk. Maybe about here. There you go. With a ruler, right, it will be more of a straight line, but it's okay. So now I erase the excess, which the excess is this extra line here. Doesn't continue going up now. You see how the roof now has a roof, has an ending? You following that one? So then we're gonna do the same thing on this building, but watch how, maybe about here, watch how stream angle this one building to the left is, because the vanishing point is closer to this building. Let me go over that point. So this is the vanishing point. Look how far this building is from it. That's why the angle is like this. Now this building to my left is closer, so the angle is going to be more sharp. Understand? Look how sharp. This angle is. Now I don't need this line, right? We know that, but I drew it to make sure that I keep my line straight. And we don't need, which line we don't need here? We don't need the line that keeps going up here straight up, because the building roof ends right there. You starting to see the picture of the city? Okay, so I'll give you a few seconds to take it in and catch up in regards to the drawing. We just have two or three more things to do, and then we build our drawing a little more with doors, windows, that type of thing. But we have the basic of the structure. And I'll tell you what the choices, if you wanted to do certain things, you could have done. Okay. All right. So you have so many choices for things we could have already done or we could still do. But one of the obvious choices will be, follow me here, to continue making more blocks of street. So this is a block of the street, right? Another block of the street could be here. And then buildings, think about this. Buildings could continue vanishing towards this point. Here on the right, we'll choose if the buildings are higher enough where you can still see some of the side here, or if they're smaller and they converge here, right? But I want to do something that completely eliminates this option. This is another choice. Like I said, we could have done more strip blocks diminishing towards the vanishing point. But I'm going to watch here. I'm going to draw a line that goes above, straight above here. It goes straight above some space here. Can't be too close to the sidewalk and all this. You have to leave some room. All right. And I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to erase all this. Leave the horizon for a moment. Okay. I'm going to actually also erase the leftover sidewalk up here. So I just basically drew a line. Now, what does it represent? Think about it. It represents a street that just cuts off the whole. It's like if you're driving this way and then you encounter a set of buildings here. Okay. So follow me here. I'm going to erase the horizon. I actually can't, we're going to have to. Don't erase the vanishing dot. I'll erase the horizon. Now follow me here. I need to do 2 more sets of lines, okay? Remember how there's a sidewalk and then the edge of the sidewalk that pumps up the sidewalk up? So now I need to do another line here that goes under this one. Okay. And then I'm going to do a little, very thin line as close as I can to this bottom one. Very close right there. Because this is our sidewalk. And then we need that little edge if we want to represent it. You don't have to, but it's got to be closer to the other one. There you go. I'm just outlining and making lines that are already there a little thicker. Things you guys already know. I'm just making them more pronounced. So I'm just drawing here more pronounced and darker. The lines you guys already know exist. Okay, so I'm just, now that I'm sure where this line is supposed to go, look. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Do you guys follow what I just did? Now I need to put a roof to the buildings that are going to be in this line. So let's see. Let's decide. maybe it's around here, around this area. I'm drawing it lightly, this line, and I'll tell you why. So now, just like here to the right, you know how we make these three businesses? 1, 2, 3. I'm going to make lines going up here. So maybe the one goes up here, going straight up, and maybe stops right here. This one goes up. This is the other building divided. So look, this line goes straight like right there. You see, this is a business right here. Don't mind the dot. The dot is just the vanishing point. So this is a business. The next business next to it, maybe it's a little shorter. Sorry, maybe about here. Following me? I'm erasing the other lines that I keep. Maybe the business next to the right, look, goes a little higher. And it ends about here, but we don't see it. Maybe the next building goes higher. You see what we just did? Don't think this is a door. It looks like a door. This dot is so we know where the horizon is. Now, I'll give you a few seconds so you take this in. But this is it. Now, if anything, all I need to show you is how certain things do have to go in perspective, okay? And it will be things that are already in an angle going towards the vanishing point. Okay. So this side, this one, and this one. And the sidewalks too, if we wanted to, but let's concentrate only on the buildings. So this building, this building, this building, and this building. If they have doors, if they have windows, follow my fingers, they have to converge towards this point because they're in perspective. This row back here of buildings don't. Okay, we're looking at them straight on. So this building, this building, this building, and this building out here, and the side of this one, we're looking at it straight on. We're looking at it straight on, right? You can get a feeling and know that your lines are not that straight, so then you could just fix them. But anyway, so this building, this building, this building, this building, and the side of this one here, we're looking at it straight on. So the things, if we put windows or doors, they don't need to be in perspective. This one does, this one, and this one, and this one. And you'll see in a moment how we're going to do that. And then up here is the sky. This is the sky. And this is a row. Again, I will shade the row darker, like if it's asphalt. But not right now. I'll leave that to the end. And the reason is because, again, if you rub your hand on your drawing, as it has a lot of graphite, you're going to collect that dirt, and then you're going to dirty your drawing overall. Okay? But I'll put the drawing in the center for a moment so you can look at yours and see what you're missing from mine. Which step did you miss, or you need to go over or fix the lines? Okay. And then we're going to do some doors and windows. Again, this is a 1-point perspective. We have the point right here. And you saw how that point, I mean, we could just have drawn the point, but I want to put it in perspective. That's a pun. I wanted to make sure the point, it's something you remember that falls on the horizon. So even though you could have just done a point, I want you to understand that the point belongs in the horizon. Okay. I want in the future to show you at least 2 kind of sketches or drawings. We'll do them in a future video just to show you what I mean by how the horizon follows our eye level. So in this case, we're on the road. If you look at this drawing and you're standing on the road, you look ahead of you, and this is what you will see. And the point and the horizon is right at your eye level. Think about it. For this picture, I mean. Okay. So let's start from the left and move to the right. And this is very helpful too in the process, because as you draw, just like as you write, right-handed, the world by default is right-handed. Sorry for left-handed people. You draw, and then one of the benefits is that you, as right-handed, you will not go over your hand. You will not go over your drawing with your hand, right? Because if I draw here, I move, draw here, move, draw here, and my hand is not. But if I start drawing to my right, look, if I finish this, and then I go to this one and this one, look how my hand starts falling on top of what I have already done, and it's gonna smudge. Okay, so I may not do a door here because we just see just part of this building. Maybe the door we cannot see it, it's somewhere here. But we are going to do some windows. Okay, so for the windows, let's do a straight line here, going up inside, not touching the edges, but it's gonna be one of those windows that is a whole panel. I want to show you something. And then from here, if we have a ruler, we're going to use our hand. Look, from this point, goes up. You see that? And from down here, okay, so we have a panel inside here that's going to be full of windows. Now we're going to do a bunch of lines. The thing here, as you make lines going in perspective, is that you have to have a reference for the symmetry of the windows in distance. Meaning, rather than doing random lines everywhere, to keep the windows in the same distance from each other, I'll mark that on the side where the lines are going to touch. So for example, I don't have a ruler. We're not using a ruler, but from here to here could be one row of windows. Now I need to keep this distance. You see this distance? I'm going to repeat that here, maybe about here, maybe about here, maybe about here. I'm trying to keep the same distance. You see here and here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines. Rows of windows. So what I mean to say is, rather than not having those dots and doing random lines, that we're not sure how far from each other those lines are. Now we know they keep the same distance appropriately. You see, at this point, this is the point of reference. So if you were to use a ruler, I'm not going to use a ruler when I draw lines because I know most of you don't have it or have it, but I don't know if you do. So for a drawing where I require a ruler, I will make sure all of you have it. But right now, I'm just showing you. This is a good ruler because you can see it's transparent. So this is what I mean. You see this dot that I mark here for the window? You see the vanishing point? From the vanishing point to this dot, one line. Vanishing point to the second dot, second line, third line. Always using the vanishing point as reference. But I'm not going to use the ruler. I'm just going to use my eye. So first line goes about here. And what you could do is you can not do them in a row, like one after the other. You could jump some of them and go back because that will help you visually. So from this one, look. There you go. And we're not going to need these lines. I just had to draw them to make sure I'm following the line. Okay. You follow what I'm saying. Now, maybe I'll jump to this one. Maybe I'll jump to this one here. And this helps me visually, especially if I'm doing it by hand. So then the others, look, this one. So now I know that this should have been in a more sharp angle. Okay, so here we go. This goes here, and this one now goes right here. See that? Now let me erase the lines, but see all the lines. These extra lines that now I have to erase, I have to do them because I don't have a ruler. You have to do them too. It's the only way you can make sure that you're following your line accordingly. Sorry about the nuance of not having the ruler, but if you do have a ruler, sure, use it. But I can guarantee right now that you will have a ruler. Perfect. Okay. You see how the windows are, the panel of windows is here? Now here I could do a line here, going straight, and here. So this line is going to go up, 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 dark, keep the same distance. This is just a straight line, guys. Okay. So it's not in perspective. It just goes up. Now I can darken this maybe a little, shade it, make the windows seem they're like, darker than the walls. Okay. You following me here? How this looks now, like, a bunch of panel windows going in perspective. Okay, I'm keeping that dot so you can see where is it leading to. I know it's a little bit mechanical, mathematical, right? And maybe boring sometimes, but the results are very effective. The results are very, very effective. So I'm going to shade the road because that will help us visually see what I mean. And you see how I'm making sure I don't go over the sidewalk, even side of it. And I'm shading lightly. It's like if it's asphalt on the city. So here I went from side to side. But very important, when we shade now, I'm gonna go just like the perspective lines. I'm gonna try to follow the point here. You see, as I shade. But I'm doing it so lightly that it's not too pronounced. Switch pencils if you need to, or sharpen your pencil. When I say switch pencils, I literally saying sharpen your pencil. So the other pencil you switch to is sharpen. So you don't have to spend the time sharpening it. And you're already ready as you're inspired or you're on the mood. Okay. If you need to turn the paper to get those lines going better, do so. There's something here on the table. Yep, there was something under the table. So that makes sometimes a mark. Ah, I'm making the mark of the paper on there. I'm drawing and shading going out and not in, so I don't catch up with the paper and bend it, or so that's why I'm going only one way. Okay. Perfect. Let's see how it looks. You see the row talking about? This is what I'm talking about. All right, let's do some doors, windows, and wrap this up. Um, maybe, I don't know. Raise just the edge here of the sidewalk. That should be clean. Because this is a reference drawing. Reference drawing meaning, yes, it is a frame it, it's done, sure. But at the same time, you could put it up on your studio or your wall where you draw and make art, and you could refer to it. You could look at it and understand, oh, I remember what Antonia's lesson here was about the vanishing point in the horizon. And I can know that now the horizon is all the way up here, even though I don't see the line, because that's where the point is. You see, what that allows us is to make, I'm going to put these pencils, how they all, these lines go towards the vanishing point. Sorry, let me put them facing the point. I mean, pointing to the vanishing point. You see how the building. I'm going to take this one and it marks this building up here. This is the sidewalk. So what I meant to say is that what that allows us, that the horizon is up here, is that these lines, even though there's a road that cuts across this here, are not converging too close. If I have put the dot here, then this line will be even more narrow and closer, which was really doesn't, I don't know. I wanted to make it more interesting. You get what I'm trying to say. So some buildings will not have anything yet, or maybe just lines of for the things. So you could understand that this is a reference book. I'm going to shade the side here of this building, going up and down. You know, okay. See that? Now we see the side of the building. Awesome. Let's put a door here so the door goes up. But the top of the door has to be in an angle. Remember? And let's keep the door in perspective to the sidewalk, maybe this big. But the top of the door has to go to the horizon line. Sorry, to the vanishing point. So from here, maybe like that. See that? Maybe there's a window panel here. Sorry, like a, I'm framing this here. Sorry, I should have showed you how I do the that in perspective. But okay, so I did the sides of this. This is gonna be like a glass window. But the top here, I should have to show you, make sure that it is, you see, in perspective with the vanishing point. The bottom of it too. See? Okay, maybe a thinner one, but also with the perspective here, almost straight. See that? See how it almost goes straight here because it's almost in a straight angle. But we don't need these lines. They just help me guide myself. Okay. See how we did a store here, a storefront? You know, you could add little things to the sidewalk. You could do like a mailbox. You could do a drain on the ground. You could do a fire hydrant. You know, we could always add little things to the city drawing. So um, let's do a wider door. So maybe from here to here, but then here is to here. And now it goes from here, shorter, to here. And I divide it in half. Why divide it in half? Because it's a double door. You know? Maybe here there's a row of windows. So here, 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 here. So now I go and draw a line from here to here. But watch what I'm going to do. From here to here. Here to here. Here to here. And here to here. Okay, perfect. So now that I have these lines, I'm going to do now the straight ones. For the straight ones, I don't need these lines going into the vanishing point. So now, look, now I'm going to kind of fix some of these lines here. This goes straight up, straight up, straight up, straight up. I don't need this. And now look, this goes here, 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 here. I divided them in fours, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But the lines going up, I don't need to. I just need to. It's about dividing the windows, you know. Okay. So this door can have a handle here, can have a like a circular maybe sign. We could do, you could do phone lines. You could add all kinds of stuff. Um, let's do a circle here for the sun. But I don't want to enrich too much this drawing, meaning add too many things to it, because then it will lose the point that I want you to focus on for the lesson or the skill. Oops, sorry, the skill that I want you to take from this. Okay. So again, I'm going to say it again. I don't want to um, embellish too much the drawing, because it will lose the perspective aspect of it that I want to emphasize for you to learn. Um, so here I'm going to write 1 point perspective with 1 vanishing point. This, I mean, you could say more things, but this is the type of drawing we're doing. 1 point perspective with 1 vanishing point. All right. I'll give you a few seconds to see what are you missing from your drawing and mine. Okay, I know it takes a little longer when you follow someone because you're catching up. Um, and if you were to draw people, you got to make sure that people are also, you're using perspective, but in this case, size. So someone here, their head will be, if they're this high because of the door, up to here, then their head is right here, right? And then up here, because it keeps growing, the person has to be bigger because the person is closer to us. Okay. Let's do another door going up here. And because it's in perspective, right? That's the other door. Maybe this window is long going up in this case. But look how the bottom, this is a long, I cannot even reach with the ruler. But look, it goes through, I may lose my path. It's hard when the line is far away, because you gotta match it. So here goes through, through, the bottom one right here, the bottom one right here. You see the line starts getting straighter as it comes closer to the horizon. So this is why the dot is important, but knowing where the horizon is, which in this case is always a straight line horizontally, but where the vanishing point is, then that gives us the clue that as the lines are closer, look at these lines, this one here, are closer to the horizon, they become more horizontal. This one, this one. And as they're farther from the horizon, they should be more sharper, the angle. Okay. So this is what I want to leave to you, okay? This is a drawing. I know I'm going to leave it here for a while. You could also pause the video. I'm going to finish here. I know, you know, I just don't want to overwhelm the drawing too much again, because this is a lesson on perspective, 1 point perspective. This is the point, 1 point perspective, vanishing point. Everything vanishes towards the point, and it doesn't exist. We could erase it. I don't want to erase it, so you know that it's there. But it's something you do not see. This is not part of the drawing. It's just a reference, right? That later you will erase. But leave it there so you can look at this drawing. The point is to look at the drawing, refer to it, understand how perspective, 1 point perspective especially works. Things in front of you, meaning you can see the side that's in front of you, are not on perspective, right? Like this, all the row here of buildings. But things that you see the side of it, you see the side, the side, the side, the side, the sidewalk, converge in the 1 point perspective. You can color it if you wish to, right? You can color the drawing. You can add more things to it. We're going to stop here. I want to point out, but sorry, you can pause right here and look at the drawing carefully. You can go back to one point that I may have not been too clear. Okay. You could draw it again, please. Practice, keep practicing. This is the drawing I did with 2 points. One here, follow me here, in this edge, and the other one on the other side. And you can see how this side goes towards here, and this side goes towards there. Same thing with the window tops, meaning the top and bottom of the windows, the line, and the top of the door, bottom of the door. Okay. Now you understand this is 2 point perspective. You see, I wrote it here. I wrote 2 point because there's 2, 1 and 2. Yes, there are 3 points perspective. Maybe we'll do that. I don't know. Maybe if you're interested into doing that, we could do that. That's usually a view from above. Usually 3 point perspective represents something as if you're looking at it from above, from the sky, or as a bird, because thing vanishes towards each side, left and right, and then also the bottom, to the center of the earth or whatever. But in this case right here, this was more simpler. This was even simpler than the house that I just showed you, because this has only one. Look, one right here, and it's a city. Okay, so Hope this was helpful. Uh, Another please thing to remind, I'm just cleaning here, you see the little lines, is if this concept, if you really intake this concept, okay, meaning you understand it, the basics of it, you can sketch and draw. You could right now go to a bench in the city, sit down in the park and draw. And when you see buildings, you can kind of put them in perspective because you know these basics, okay? It doesn't have to be perfect. Um, Especially when you sketch. When you sketch, it's just a sketch, you know, but you're sketching. I could have sketched this if I was looking at it, right, in real life, and kind of know that my roof here has to go in an angle. And if this was goes here, then this one go, you know. So this is really helpful. There is perspective inside a room too, okay? Um, the walls converge, right? Um, but I hope this was helpful. I know it was a little, maybe we have some time, but take the time to shade your drawing, erase it clean. Um, you're gonna see some of the lines. That's really cool because if you see them, you get the point more clearly. Um, but I hope this was helpful and you could put it in as another one of your reference drawings in front of your in your wall or your portfolio. And yeah, have a great holiday. Enjoy the time. Stay safe. Yes, stay safe. Um, and I'll see you next time.